Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekly Movie Minute. I am Joe from Create Context. We are brought to you by CreateContext.com. Every week, we talk about kind of whatever the biggest new movie is of this week. And this week, undoubtedly, it is Mickey 17. Mickey 17 is the follow-up to Bong Joon-ho's 2019 Oscar-winning film Parasite. Mickey 17, like all of Bong Joon-ho's movie, is playing with a great number of big ideas. In this film, there's the idea of expendable humans and the value of human life. He touches on ideas of immigration and colonialism. There are even some not so subtle hints at the current American presidential administration. This is all done under the backdrop of a frozen, newly discovered planet in a not too distant future. Mickey 17 has a lot of big ideas, and to be fair, it lands most of them. This film is scored and shot in a way that's actually like fun and playful. The score has a lot of upright bass notes and some kind of fast, fun-moving piano music, and it makes this movie feel like kind of less of a burden than his previous Oscar-winning film, Parasite. Robert Pattinson is also genuinely funny in his role as the ever-cloned Mickey, and the supporting characters have charm and humor galore. However, the film too often flirts with parody to make this a movie that I think is going to last for generations. The film begins with Mickey 17, the 17th iteration of Mickey Barnes, played by Robert Pattinson, left for dead on a dangerous expedition in a foreign ice land. Pattinson provides voiceover for the film, which allows the movie to just quickly breeze through all of the sci-fi stuff that the movie is going to be talking about. Mickey himself doesn't really understand the science behind how cloning people works, so the audience also doesn't have to be burdened with that knowledge. We just know that it was invented and it is now being exploited by failed politician Kenneth Marshall, played deviously by Mark Ruffalo. Ruffalo's performance is actually my main gripe with Mickey 17. He isn't bad in the role, but he is clearly taking a lot of inspiration from Donald Trump. He has this faux, kind of hard to place accent, a cadence that sounds a lot like Trump. There are red hat wearing supporters throughout the film, and below average intelligence masked by the army of yes men that are surrounding him. It's a deliberate choice, but one that I fear immediately ages the film. We'll always look back at Mickey 17 and see Ruffalo doing that same little arm thing that Trump does. Literally, like in the beginning of the film, he does this thing, and you're like, okay, I know exactly what you're doing. And when we ever look back at it later, we're immediately going to know when this movie was made and what it's trying to say. But those kind of just small quibbles aside, the main crux of the plot is really engaging and actually a joy to watch. Pattinson is doing great work as both Mickey 17 and his unauthorized multiple Mickey 18. 17 is this fun-loving, goofy character with this almost New York accent that's just brimming with this like aw shucks vibe. He plays that role just as you would imagine someone who volunteered for a life of dismemberment and reanimation. Mickey 18, on the other hand, is a bit of a psychopath. He has many of the same quirks and mannerisms as 17, but that accent is kind of gone, and Mickey 18 is much more concerned with revenge and survival than his previous iteration. I won't spoil where the movie goes, but it is a delight watching Pattinson play off of himself and all of his fellow co-stars. There are many themes Joon-ho is going for in this movie, but the largest and best presented is that of expendable humans, people we view as less than. It's a theme he's shown many times before, most notably in his movies like Snowpiercer and Parasite, but with the story of Mickey 17, he's created this narrative that's able to drive the point home stronger than ever before. While the story is based on a novel, Bong Joon-ho wrote the script in addition to directing this film. The narrative he's formed here is one that allows people to say that quiet part out loud. The thing so many of his characters in his film believe, but could never say to someone's face. They can tell Mickey right to his face in this movie that his life doesn't matter as much as theirs. It's a life that's less important than their own, and the narrative rings all the more true when Mickey is face to face with the egomaniacal Kenneth Marshall. It's a story that was built for Joon-ho and one that he captures with expert precision. The other actors in this film do a fine enough job. It's kind of just a shame that they don't have as much to work with. Toni Collette plays Yifa, the out-of-touch wife to Ruffalo's Kenneth Marshall. She does an amazing job with her performance and is really the only fleshed out character outside of Mickey and Kenneth. Steven Yeun plays Timo, Mickey's friend from Earth, and Naomi Aki plays Nasha, Mickey's girlfriend who has stuck with him through every death and subsequent rebirth. They are both doing a fine job in their roles. They just have little to do and barely their character arcs. Young's character is this schemer who always seems to come out on top, no matter how far he gets in over his head. It's fun to watch this, but we never see him face any real consequences or have a change of heart. Natasha, she actually does have an arc, but she's essentially just painted as this angelic heroine throughout the whole movie, so her eventual triumph feels more prophesized than earned. Still, these two do a good enough job rounding out the cast and providing a team for the Mickeys to work around. Mickey 17 is a great film from a great director, but it never reaches the high of some of Joon-ho's earlier work. It's a fantastic script with great characters and a really interesting setting, but a few choices keep it just shy of being his new masterpiece. While I appreciate what Ruffalo is doing with the Marshall character, I would have preferred it if the portrayal was just a bit less on the nose. A little bit of subtlety would have gone a long way in keeping the character of Kenneth Marshall grounded and feeling less like just a bad Trump impression. I have nothing but praise for Pattinson's performance, though, and I'm really enjoying watching this actor take on such interesting roles. He's been able to bring his own style to everything from a psychotic lighthouse keeper to Batman, with each performance feeling fresh and new. His role here may be my favorite of his career in this ever-growing list of interesting parts. It's the narrative and themes, though, that really make Mickey 17 worth watching. Bong Joon-ho has the perfect premise to deliver his themes, and he's able to deliver them in what is essentially a pretty fun sci-fi flick. It may not be as great a triumph as Parasite, but it is a terrific film that is more than worth your time. If you like Mickey 17 or you're looking for something similar, I have a few recommendations. First, I'd recommend an earlier film from Bong Joon-ho, Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer stars Chris Evans, and the film deals with many themes and ideas that have become staple of Joon-ho's movies. In this world, the Earth has entered a new ice age due to climate change, and the only remaining people on Earth all reside in a train that continuously circles the planet. Each car on the train carries a different status of people, with the poor class being closer to the caboose and the rich are farther up towards the front of the train. Evans leads a revolt from those in the back to storm towards the front of the train towards the world's elite. It's a fantastic movie and one that contains a lot more action than Mickey 17. So if you wanted a Mickey 17 kind of looking for a more sci-fi action type flick, then I would check out Snowpiercer. Next, I'd recommend The Empire Strikes Back, the second Star Wars film of the original trilogy, mainly because the planet the crew from Mickey 17 end up inhabiting feels uncannily inspired by the ice planet Hoth from the beginning of that movie. I haven't heard Joon-ho mention that movie directly as one of his inspirations, but I have to imagine this location played a huge role in his idea for Niflheim, the fictitious planet from Mickey 17. Lastly, I'd recommend one maybe a lot of people haven't heard of, a movie called All That We Destroy. This is a made-for-TV movie, kind of. It was part of Hulu's original movies released under the banner of Into the Dark. It's billed as a TV series, but really every episode was just a standalone small feature film. They all run about an hour and a half. All That We Destroy takes place in a not too distant future and involves a mother and CEO of a company that has created the ability to clone people. Amongst her success in the business world, she learns her son has these outrageous, violent tendencies, and she consistently uses this technology to create new clones for him to destroy on a daily basis. It's a fascinating film about the value of human life, a theme we see a lot in Mickey 17, how the wealthy and powerful can get away with everything, another theme we see in Mickey 17, and just how far one person is willing to go to protect their family, especially at the expense of people we consider expendable. All That We Destroy is a haunting movie and one that's going to stick with you long after watching. Thank you guys so much for hanging out at the Weekly Movie Minute. We will be back next week with another movie, Opus. We're going to be watching Opus, the new A24 movie. Looks very good. John Malkovich is in it. If you like this, if you want to see that, please give us a subscribe. That would be super cool. And I will see you guys next time.